it's Miss Hines, and welcome to week 3 of remote drama. So we're going to begin by warming up our actor tools. Today we're going to warm up our body and our voices at the same time with a warm-up called Princess Pat. So I'm going to do the action and then you're going to repeat after me. Okay, here we go. The Princess Pat lived in a tree. She sailed across the 7 seas. She sailed across the channel too, and took with her a rig-a-bamboo. A rig-a-bamboo. Now what is that? It's something made by the Princess Pat. It's red and gold and like totally purple too. That's why it's called a rig-a-bamboo. Now the Captain Jack had a mighty fine crew, but his ship sank, and yours will too, unless you take a rig-a-bamboo. A rig-a-bamboo. Now what is that? It's something made by the Princess Pat. It's red and gold and like totally purple too. That's why it's called a rig-a-bamboo. And stop. Okay, we're going to warm up our imaginations, and we're going to use a warm-up called headlines. Now normally we would do this in class and we would like go around a circle, or we would take turns and have several people contributing. But today, since it's just me, I'm going to show you how to do this warm-up all by myself. And then you can stop the video and you can do it all by yourself, or if you have some family members that want to do it with you, then you could do it with them. Okay, so how it works is I'm going to give you a ridiculous headline that might be in a newspaper or on the internet or a newscast headline. And then that headline is going to make the next person think of a different headline, and they'll say another ridiculous headline, and then it'll remind the next person of another headline, and it just keeps on going like that. And we have all kinds of crazy, silly stories. But like I said, I'm going to do it by myself, so I'm going to start with one example, and then I'm going to make up 3 of my own, okay? So the starting one is, boy lost in corn maze calls 911. So that's the ridiculous headline, and that makes me think of 911. So I'm going to come up with a second headline that has to do with 911. So my next headline is, 911 changes number to 910 and causes mass confusion. Okay, and the next headline makes me think of something confused, so it makes me think of this headline. Confused girl thinks that online teaching means standing on a string and reciting her ABCs. Okay, then the next headline makes me think of ABCs, so the next headline is, ABC song turned into hip-hop song. Okay, so that was my chain of crazy headlines. Now I'm going to give you one, and like I said, you can pause the video and you can come up with several of your own silly headlines, or if there's a brother or sister or parent that wants to play this with you, you could pause it and you could come up with several ridiculous headlines that the one before, remember, reminds you of the next crazy headline. Okay, so your headline is, boy invents real life invisibility cloak. Okay, so remember, you're going to come up with a new headline from the one that I gave you, and then try to do 3 or 4 at least headlines headlines after that. So go ahead and pause the video here and play a round of headlines for the imagination warm-up. All right, so we have warmed up our bodies, our voices, and our imaginations, and we are ready for this week's drama assignment. This week's drama assignment is going to be unbelievable headlines. And I don't know about you, but lately I've been watching a lot of news because of the coronavirus. And it seems like almost the entire newscast is all about the coronavirus. So I thought, well, it might be fun to come up with some really silly or funny or unusual news stories, and that you could each do your own silly news story for the week. And so I'm going to do an example, and my example has to do with the very hungry caterpillar. And hopefully you know the book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar. If you don't know it, it's about a caterpillar that eats all kinds of things and grows bigger and bigger and bigger. And then this is a stuffed animal of the very hungry caterpillar that I'm going to use in a minute. But my ridiculous, unbelievable headline is, Very Hungry Caterpillar Eats Everything in Sight. So I'm going to do an example of that news story, just like I was a newscaster on TV, and I was telling a very serious story like this really happened. So when you do your story, you should pretend that it really happened, and you should do a newscast for it. All right, so here we go. Action. Welcome to Silly News. The news where stories may seem silly, but believe it or not, they really happened. Today, our top story is The Very Hungry Caterpillar is Eating Everything in Sight. You may remember the Very Hungry Caterpillar story, and it is the picture book by Eric Carle, and believe it or not, this is not fiction, but it is really a real story, and we have really found the Very Hungry Caterpillar. You may recall in the picture book that he ate all kinds of fruit, and he ate lots of junk food, and he kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, we have an eyewitness report that the Very Hungry Caterpillar is real and is living in a Denver neighborhood called Stapleton. The caterpillar has grown 100 times his original size. And we have a very special guest who is going to talk to us today. And I believe that she is here with the Very Hungry Caterpillar. Hello, what is your name? Hi, I'm Jessica Smith. Well, Jessica, it is very nice to meet you. And could you please tell us when you first saw the Very Hungry Caterpillar? Yes, I first saw the Very Hungry Caterpillar in my garden, and he started eating all of my tomatoes, and then he ate my carrots, my green beans, and even my raspberries and strawberries. And I noticed that he started getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, what happened next? Well, next he left, and I saw him crawl over the fence into my neighbor's yard. He must have eaten everything in their garden too, because when he came back, he was like 10 times the size that he had been when he was in my garden. Oh my goodness, that is huge. Well, what did you do next? Well, I actually saw him crawl into my house, and he went right into my pantry, and he just started eating everything in sight. He ate a bag of Doritos. He ate a whole box of Twinkies. He even ate my ice cream and our whole turkey that we had frozen, ready for Thanksgiving. He just kept eating and eating and eating. Oh, wow. Well, how big is he now? Well, you can see that's him my basement, and then I just won't know what to do. Oh my goodness. Well, what is your next step? Well, I think I might have to call maybe the Denver Zoo or maybe the Guinness Book of World Records. I don't know. That's why I called you, because I don't know what to do. Well, thank you very much for this story, and we will check back with you later. And so you have heard it here first from Silly News, the news channel that tells you silly stories that don't seem real, but really are. We will follow closely with that caterpillar for any updates. Thank you. Okay, so that was an example of a silly news story. So you are going to come up with your own silly news story. I'm going to read you a couple of examples. You can come up with your own idea. You can use the same one that I did, but maybe make it a little bit different. Or you can use any of these examples, and hopefully I will be able to get these to you on your Google Classroom or on your Seesaw so you can read through the examples, but I'll go ahead and read them to you now to get you thinking. So, boy discovers actual monster under bed. Giant tarantula chases family out of house. Boy discovers the lost city of Atlantis. Snowstorm hits Hawaii. Glue-like rain causes sticky problems. UFO lands in Denver. Invisible man wins wrestling match. Little League baseball team wins the World Series. Harry Potter is real and living in California. Or, like I said, you can come up with your own news story. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick one of those news headlines or your own, and you're going to think about how you could create it into a story that would really be on the news. You'll be the news reporter. You can use somebody else as a witness if you have somebody else in your family that would like to participate. Or you can do like I did and use like a doll or a stuffed animal or something if you would like to do an interview. So please have fun with this. You might want to make like a news set. You could do a whole newscast if you wanted to. You could even have commercials. So I really hope this week, this project is fun for you and gives you something to kind of work on and have a fun drama project to do for the week. So hopefully some of you will videotape them and share them with me. Remember, you can always come to my office hours, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 8:30 until 9 a.m. And you can ask your teacher or your parent might have that code. Or feel free to email me if neither of them have the code, and I will give it to you. But every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'd be happy to watch. I'd be happy to help you with your news story if you're needing any help. So please use those office hours, and feel free to email me any of your videos. And I can't wait to see some of these and see how creative you can use your creativity and come up with a great newscast. All right, have fun, and I'll see you next week. Bye.